Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Sastanoਭir Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vṛddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti na Starkshyo Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspati'r Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Oh. So, here we are discussing the last Mundaka and of course the last Khanda. In our last Satsanga, we had seen the second mantra of the second Khanda in the third Mundaka. I think you are hearing properly.
Yes, Swamiji, we can hear. It is very clear.
Right. So today we are going to the third mantra. It says, nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyo na medhayā na bahunā śrutena yamevaiṣa vṛṇute tena labhyastasyaiṣa ātmā vivṛṇute tanūṃ svām. nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyaha na medhayā na bahunā śrutena yamevaiṣa vṛṇute tena labhyaha tasya ayam ātmā pravacanena na labhyaha na medhayā labhyaha na api bahunā śrutena. So in the last part we had seen one who has realized the Atman, or in other words, the oneness of Atman and Brahman, that I am the limitless existence absolute. I am the all-pervading knowledge absolute. I am the unlimited bliss. Sachidananda is not something worshipped by me, but it is my essential nature. One who is having this realization He transcends the transmigratory cycle. For him, there is no birth. That means he is no more identifying himself with any objects of the world. Birth means identification with objects. Identification with body, mind, intellect complex is a birth. Or whenever we are identifying with thought waves, different thoughts, then each and every time we are having newer and newer births. So for him who has attained this knowledge, I am the limitless. I am the unlimited Sachidananda. Existence absolute, knowledge absolute, and bliss absolute. For him, there is no more identification with limited objects. Then there is no death for him, there is no birth for him. As long as we are identifying with the body, mind, intellect complex, we are having birth and death. Death must come. So, that takes us to the highest goal of human life is knowledge. Knowledge means realization. So this has been explained through all the previous mantras. And it was reiterated again in the first two mantras of this khanda. Now, the seeker is having that much thirst for that realization, because he knew that it takes to the goal of human life. That much thirst is he having. Then the Shruti is saying, nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyo. I am ātmā, this ātman. If this mantra was in the beginning part, we will ask, or there must come a question, what is ātman? What is the nature of ātman? Now such a question won't come, because this is the concluding khanda. This is the last khanda. And so far, so much deliberations have been done regarding Atman, what Atman is. So about whom we were discussing in all the earlier mantras, that Atman, realizing which we will reach the goal of our life, that Atman cannot be attained through pravacana, discourses. Studies. So we are hearing many discourses, so many explanations from different scholars. And after hearing, we ourselves will start delivering lectures. So Shruti is saying this Atman cannot be attained through pravacana, discourse. By doing discourse or by hearing discourse, that cannot be attained. By teaching about this through words, you will be known as a teacher of Vedanta. And you will be considered as a scholar in the world. Of course, you will get dakshina. You will have fame. And many titles will come like Panditaratnam Swami Chidananda Puri. So many titles will come. For what? For nothing. Of course, they have their own contributions or their own plus points in the worldly life. We will have fame, we will get more and more dakshina. You all will invite for lectures and all. Again, our fame will go high. There ends. There ends. Nothing more than that. Bhuktaye natu muktaye. Vagvaigari, shabdajari, shastra vyakhyana kaushalam. Vidusham vaidushyam cha. There is another version. Vidusham vaidushyam tadvat. Bhuktaye natu muktaye. So says Bhagavan Bhashyakara in the famous verse in the Viveka Chudamani. Vakvaigari. Oh. His words are flowing like a river spontaneously. And how clear is the sound? It is just like the flow of Ganga, uninterrupted. And the expertise in giving commentary to Shastras, it is much laudable. Shastra vyakhyana kaushalam. He is explaining that much abstruse subjects in simple language. Shastra vyakhyana kaushalam. All these are there. And the scholarship. He's a great scholar. But all this will help to get food in this world. Food means name and fame, money and position, and respect in the world. We will get all this. Natu muktaye, but it will not help in getting the absolute realization. It never means we need not have Shastra Jnana. No, we must have Shastra Jnana. Shastras are like signboards in the road. When we drive to some destinations, we must depend on signboards. But signboards will not take us to the destination. We have to travel. We have to move. We have to face the obstacles on the way and cross them. Of course, Shastra will help in that. In the same way, Guru also is just like a signboard. We have to observe them carefully, learn from them, and tread our own path. We have to move. It is our duty to move. Shastra or Guru won't take you to the destination. If somebody is getting immersed in the Shastra, not realizing it is just like a signboard, he will stay there only, debating and debating lifelong. Of course, such scholars are preserving the legacy of our Shastras. And it is most essential also to upkeep the greatness of our Shastras, to show the greatness of the legacy to the world. We must have great scholars around us. But at the same time, that scholarly teachings and commentaries they won't take us to the final goal, which is mukti. So, this Atman cannot be attained or realized through discourses. Discourses means delivering discourse or hearing discourse. There are professional speakers, there are professional listeners. That is their profession. They will end there. So, nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyo. Na medhayā. That means nāyamātmā medhayā labhyo. This Atman cannot be attained through medha. Medha is the intellectual capacity with which we are grasping and remembering. It is the intellectual capacity to grasp and remember. Grahana dharana shaktihi medha. Grahana dharana shaktihi. Some people will have a very fast grasping power. When you say something once, they will grasp it. But if you ask after some time what it was, oh, I am not remembering. I heard that, but I don't remember now. Because they don't have the power to remember. Grasping ability they have, of course, but that remembering faculty is missing. And for some others, it is just the reverse. They will ask 100,000 times. But once got in means it won't go. They will remember forever. But slowly they will grasp. Very slowly. Of course, both these people have this intellectual ability, but not medha. To call medha, one must have that grasping power and the power to remember. Both these combined is medha. That is why Acharya says, Grahana dharana shaktihi medha. It is essential in the worldly knowledge. In knowing all objects of the world, we must have this capacity of the intellect. And to dive deep into Shastras, to remember them, to carry them within, and teach to others, we must have this medha. One must have this medha. Then only we can go into the Shastra and take the Shastra to the society and thereby preserve it. So we must have medha, but at the same time, with medha, we cannot realize Atman. It is not an object. It is not an object to be grasped or to be remembered. It is me. So, with medha, we cannot attain the Atman. Nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyo na medhayā na bahunā śrutena. Na bahunā śrutena. Na bahunā śrutena. Shrutam means that which is heard. That which is heard. That is śrutam. So by śrutena, it means by hearing. Hearing what? Bahunā śrutena. Hearing much, too much shastras. Hearing too much shastras, too many shastras. Of course, to teach others, we must have a huge bundle of Shastra knowledge. And of course, when we have repeated questioning within, to clarify our own mind, to clarify our own questioning mind, we must have the treasure of Shastra with us. We must have the light of Shastra with us. There is no doubt in that. But at the same time, if we are getting immersed in the study of different Shastras, I am studying this, I am studying that, many subjects, even if it is regarding the ātmā, let me repeat once more, even if it is regarding ātmā, we will not attain that. Why? Because each and every acharya will have a different style of teaching, different approaches to the same truth or the same reality. The same reality would be explained in different ways or different modes by different acharyas. Or we can say to different disciples. If we can have the essence, then there is no problem. Just like a honeybee, it will fly here and there. It will sit everywhere. On a plant, on a leaf, or a flower, or a stone, or even the body of other beings, it will sit. But it won't take anything inside. Only honey it will take. Only honey from flowers. Nothing else. Of course, it will sit here and there. Everywhere it will go and sit. But only honey it will take. Now the question comes, what about the taste of different honeys? Honey of a hibiscus flower, or a plantain, or rubber, or rose. All these are different. Different taste, different quality. But when it goes inside the honeybee, it enters the inner organs of the honeybee. It will be synthesized. A sort of synthesizing happens and it becomes one. There is no honey of rubber, there is no honey of plantain, there is no honey of any other flower, rose or hibiscus. Only one honey, and that is the honey of that honeybee. In the same way, if we can imbibe the inner essence of all teachings, then there is no problem, there is no contradiction. Sarve veda yat padamamanandi. That existence absolute about which all the Vedas are proclaiming. If we can have that, there is no problem at all. There is no contradiction at all. But at the same time, if we are clinging to the teachings of different Shastras, then what will happen? It will make a mess. We will totally be confused. Of course, we can go to different Shastras after having clarity within. There is no problem. Nothing wrong in that. But at the same time, if a sadhaka, a seeker, is getting immersed in the Shastra studies, without that constant remembrance of the highest goal, and if he is considering himself as a man who have heard much, I know this much, I know that much, it won't benefit a seeker. Na bahunā śrutena. This ātman cannot be realized by hearing much. So in the first part of this mantra it is said, nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyo, na medhayā labhyah, na bahunā śrutena labhyah. Then what is the way? How we can realize that? If it cannot be realized through pravacana, or by medhā, or by śrutam, how we can realize? If you are saying you cannot realize Atman, then the whole teachings of the Veda become futile, meaningless. Because all the teachings of Veda are for realizing the self. It is the goal. And if you are saying it cannot be realized, then what is the meaning in all these Vedas? There is no meaning at all. We cannot say that. Then how we will reach at a point which will make us know the utility of Shastras? If you are negating all this, for what Shastras are? How we will realize the highest truth, highest reality? This is the question. Then it is said, yamevaiṣa vṛṇute tena labhyaha. Yamevaiṣa vṛṇute tena labhyaha. Yam eva eṣaha vṛṇute tena labhyaha. This piece of mantra, we have to be very careful in understanding the meaning of this mantra. Very careful. Otherwise, the wordings of this mantra is in such a way that we will get misled. When we study Vedas, always we have to remember one piece of mantra which says Paroksha Priyahi Devaha. Paroksha Priyahi Devaha. Devaha Paroksha Priyaha. That means they more like or their words or their teachings, in many cases or many places, it won't be direct. No. Paroksha Priya. Even if we can teach in a direct way, they will take an indirect path of teaching. Why it is that we cannot say. For Deva, they will say Veda. For Veda, they will say Deva. For Pashyaka, they will say Kashyapa. For Kashyapa, they will say Pashyaka. Like that. Paroksha Priyaha. So we must have the help of a guru. That we have. The traditional acharyas gave us the real meaning, contextual meaning. So remember always, while understanding this piece of mantra, we must be very careful. So it says, Eshaha yam eva vṛṇute tena labhyaha. Eshaha sadhakaha, this seeker, yam eva vṛṇute, yam eva, there is eva. Yam means whom? Whom? Eva, alone. Vṛṇute, selects or chooses. So that sadhaka who is choosing this Atman alone, tena labhyaha, by him it is attainable. Labhyaha means attainable. Tena, by him. So Shruti says that sadhaka, that seeker, who is choosing this alone as the very goal, and everything else are immaterial or irrelevant for him, by such a sadhaka, this Atman will be realized. The meaning of this mantra we have to write down. Otherwise, when we see different commentaries, in the traditional way, there is no deviations. But when we learn different commentaries, different books, we will see this mantra, this piece of mantra, explained differently. In some places you will see, oh, that man, that realization. So there is no meaning in doing shravana, doing manana, doing nididhyasana. There is no meaning in tapas and all. The God must come here and must select you. You must be selected by the God. by the Narayana, who is all merciful, all loving, all caring. Then comes the question, why? Why he is selecting me? Huh? Then the answer will be that you cannot explain. You cannot explain. Because of your previous karmas, God is selecting you. But that explanation will contradict the teaching of this Shruti when we take it as a whole. Of course, when we take this mantra alone, we can of course explain like that. To get that realization, you must be selected, or you must be chosen by that highest reality which we call Ishvara. Ishvara must choose you. Then you will get knowledge. Then you will get liberation. Otherwise not. So that explanation is not acceptable for us. In that explanation, Eshaha means he, the highest Ishvara, Yam Sadhagam vṛṇute chooses. By him, it is attainable. We cannot say that. The meaning we are taking is that sadhaka who chooses this Atman alone, by him it will be attained. Because for him, everything else in this world has become irrelevant or immaterial. See what type of offers were showered by Yama in front of Nachiketas. See the Kathopanishad. I will give you this, I will give that. All the wealth of the world, all apsaras in the heaven, unimaginable objects of enjoyments and long lifespan, with full health, everything, money, men, women, the power of the world, limitless kingdom, everything. But don't ask that question. Then Nachiketas insisted, no, I don't want all these things. If these are valuable for you, please take them. I am giving value only to that question by which I will know the real nature of the self. So everything else has become irrelevant or immaterial for him. No other boons, nothing. That's the meaning of yamevaiṣa. This Atman alone, which sadhaka is choosing that above everything else. And for him, everything else has become irrelevant and immaterial. Another mantra in the Upanishad, it is said, samsarameva nissaram drishtva saradidrikshaya pravrajandi. After realizing there is nothing in the samsara, no meaning in the samsara. Just like the stem of the plantain. If we remove one covering, then we will see the next covering. Again, we can remove that. One after another, we go on removing these, and finally there is nothing. There is a Malayalam saying, നിനക്ക് ഉള്ളി അറിഞ്ഞൂടെ? Go and remove the layers of onion. Then first you will remove one layer, then you will see the next layer, remove that also. Again. Finally, where you reach? Nothing. So, you have seen a big onion, a big one. But when you go inside, you will realize there is nothing. The samsara is like that. When we see from outside, everything will call us. Come. I am here. But when you go inside, then we'll see there's nothing. So samsarameva nissaram drishtva, after realizing that thirst come within. So what is the essence? Where lies the samsara? What is the substratum on which all these are existing? To realize that absolute existence, one renounces everything. Pravrajandi. Renounces everything. In search of that existence absolute. So for him, everything in the world has become irrelevant or immaterial. He can get anything and everything if he wish. If there is a pinch of thirst for the objects of the world, he will get that. But there is no such thirst. Because everything has become irrelevant or immaterial. See? Then only one is having the eligibility to renounce. Pravrajandi akṛtodvaha. There is another meaning for akṛtodvaha, but an unmarried person. Akṛtodvaha means unmarried person. That means from brahmacharya itself one enters the life of sannyasa. So says the Upanishad. So yamevaiṣa vṛṇute esha sadhagaha yam ātmānam eva vṛṇute. Everything else has become immaterial for him, and he is choosing this Atman alone, nothing else. By him, it is attainable. Tena labhyaha. Tasya, for him, ātmā, this ātmā, vṛṇute tanūṃ svām. Svām tanūṃ, the self. Vivṛṇute reveals. Vivṛṇute meaning is, verbal meaning is revealing. But now here we can take reveals. The Atman will get revealed to him. The Atman will reveal the self to him. This is my real nature. That realization will come. In that realization, there is no more doubt. All doubts has gone. Chidyande sarva samshayaha. Kṣiyande chasya karmani. Tasmin drishte paryāptakāmasya. When that self is realized, there is no more doubts. All doubts gone. See? So, yamevaiṣa vṛṇute tena labhyo stasyaiṣa ātmā vivṛṇute tanūṃ svām. For him, the Atman reveals its own swarupa, its own self. So this is the only way to have this realization. This mantra never says you must not hear Shastras, you must not study Shastra, you must not hear discourse. No. We can study or we must study Shastras. We must hear discourses and we must have the intellectual capacity to grasp and remember. But these physical abilities will not take you to the absolute realization. Because that which is to be realized is not an object. It is the self. It is the self. Scriptural knowledge will help us. Hearing discourses will help us. And doing discourse, delivering discourses also will help us in having clarity, in getting a clear picture regarding the self. But not more than that. From there, we have to dive deep into our own individuality in search of the existence absolute. So what we want is unwavering dedication and that real thirst for that knowledge, real thirst for that realization, in which everything else are irrelevant or immaterial. Let Swarga come and go. Let Brahmaloka come and go. Let birth and death or any siddhis in this world come and go. I am not at all concerned. I am concerned only on one thing. And that is the absolute realization. That sadhaka, who is having this fire within, he will realize. The Atman will reveal its swarupa to that sadhaka. So this is the meaning of this mantra. After hearing, we have to keep this mantra inside and gone contemplating these inner meanings, from different angles, we have to see this mantra. Then we will have a clear picture regarding the self-realization. See, nāyamātmā pravacanena labhyo, na medhayā na bahunā śrutena, yamevaiṣa vṛṇute tena labhyastasyaiṣa ātmā vivṛṇute tanūṃ svām. Then the next mantra says that we will see in our next sitting. nāyamātmā balahīnena labhyo, na pramādā tapaso vāpyalingād, etairupayairyatate yastu vidvān, tasyaiṣa ātmā vishate brahmadhāma. To that mantra we will go in our next satsanga. Now if you want to ask anything, you please.
Kamalaji raised a hand. Kamalaji, do you want to ask any question?
Yeah.
You raised a hand some time back.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste, namaste.
Swamiji, this mantra has to be studied and understood only after we go through this study for a long time. Probably is that the reason why it is said only in the end of this also. Then even in Kathopanishad, in the second chapter, it is in the end, 23rd mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, see, only after having clarity within, we can go to this mantra. Otherwise, we will take the other meaning. That means, for having this knowledge, for having this realization, you must be chosen by Ishvara. Ishvara will choose somebody fit to have that knowledge. So innumerable questions will arise. Why Ishvara is selecting somebody? Why Ishvara is avoiding somebody? And who is that? Ishvara selecting. How he is selecting? So many questions. Then the essential teaching of Upanishad, that we must have that much dedication, and Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, all these are the path to that knowledge. All these will contradict with that mantra. And with the teachings of Bhagavan in the Gita, na me dveshosti na priyah, samoham sarvabhuteshu. I am equal in all beings. There is no enmity to anybody, no special love towards anybody. Or nadatte kasyajit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu. I am not at all taking any virtue from anybody or any sin from anybody. So all these mantras will have contradiction with this. So, unwavering dedication, fullest submission, shādhimam tva prapannam. That prapatti, fullest surrender, fullest dedication to a highest goal. That is essential. With that, we can reach. For him, everything else is irrelevant, you see. There is only one relevance. There is only one subject. Nothing else. He will be in the world, but he is not at all immersed. He is a part of the world, but he is above everything. So that is the greatness of a seeker. Yeah. Namaste. That's why it is in the last part of all the Upanishads where this mantra comes. This mantra is repeated in many Upanishads. Many Upanishads. When we study 108 Upanishads, many places this mantra is repeated. But everywhere in the last part. Otherwise, we will get confused. Yeah. Namaste. Namaste.
Yes, Swamiji, there are no more.
Very good.
Raised hands.
Chinna samshayaha. Yes, now we can.
So we were discussing about the next series after the Mundakopanishad. So we are.
There are many mantras.
Yeah. So
Not many,
last time
Swamiji.
Eh?
Only 8 more mantras.
8 more mantra means 1 year.
No, 8 classes, 2 months.
Today we are seeing only one mantra. Oh, 8 mantra means maximum 8 classes. That means 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months or 4 months.
Yes.
So we may start Bhagavad Gita. That is what.
Yeah, of course we can have Bhagavad Gita.
But can we have some selected chapter? Because last time it's Swamiji started and stopped the first.
No, we
Yeah.
didn't start.
Yeah. Okay, we can restart.
We didn't-
COVID time, Swamiji started that Bhagavad Gita.
Where?
COVID time, there were classes.
COVID time. That is not in this class.
English class.
We will
and
start
want
from
it-
beginning.
Aha. Then what happened?
Up to first chapter last month.
Uh-huh.
Mantras.
Some 20 slogas were taken. I think we can start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning.
Second chapter or selected chapters, Swamiji.
And more
Yes,
classes.
then we can decide.
More classes.
Yeah.
Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pasye Makshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai Stushtuvam Sastanubhir Yashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vṛddhashravaah Swastina Posha Vishwavedaah Swastina Starkshyo Arishtanemi Swastina Brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti 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 Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.